Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Okay, can you please say your name in full and what organisation you're part of?
Chris Pirillo, that's Chris-Pirillo, and I am from Locker Gnome, which is a company that I've been running since 1996.
Okay, thank you. Could you leave just like a beat before you answer every question, because it needs to go through the edit?
Sure.
I need to pop it into Adobe Audition and fiddle with it a little bit later on. Okay, in my recent email correspondence with you, you've said that you're not really an expert on Lego. I beg to differ with that. How many sets do you estimate that you have in your collection?
Oh, goodness. Well, I tell you, after sharing my Amazon.com wish list with my community, that exploded over the past holiday season. I would have to ask my girlfriend, who I think is probably more aware of how many sets we have lying around than I'm aware of. Probably a good 50. A lot of them are smaller sets, though, to tell you the truth. I'm not as much of a fan of the sets as I am the minifigs, which I guess is not really the official word for them. They're minifigures, the figurines of the classic Lego sets. So I'll typically ask for or buy a set largely because of its minifig, the figurine. Okay.
You particularly, from what I've seen, seem to be a fan of the Star Wars sets. What attracts you to those particular Lego sets?
Well, I grew up with Star Wars, as most kids my age did, and I don't mean the new Clone Wars, and I don't mean the prequels, the original trilogy, Episode 4, 5, and 6. I constructed my own spaceships in Lego, and had to use my imagination. Didn't have a lot of Lego bricks at my disposal back in the day. And when Lego first started producing sets in the Star Wars universe, I was elated. Although I didn't really, I didn't buy everything. I mean, I love Lego, but I don't think I'm an addict. I just happen to like it a lot. I mean, to the point where I've got a set sitting in front of me that's not a part of Star Wars or that universe, but certainly a part of the Lego universe in general, not the video game Lego universe. I think it was just the childhood passion for Star Wars and loving Star Wars growing up, and also having really only one or two Lego sets growing up. I never could have imagined that there would be a Han Solo minifigure created that would look like Han Solo. I mean, we're pretending anyway. As kids or people who love what we see in these toys, but actually having a figurine that looks like or as close to Han Solo as possible within a Lego universe there was just something kind of endearing about that. And I don't know, I guess it was kind of two childhood experiences kind of rolled into one.
All right, having seen in your community that there is a lot of love out there for Lego within, geeks or techies or whatever you want to call them, do you think that's something that's unique to geeks, that Lego is just something that, geeks understand, geeks get?
The funny thing is, as much as I have put out there about technology and computing and software and hardware, the funny thing is, I get more traction from the videos and the content that I produce around Lego than I ever do on what I spend a majority of time on. I mean, I do get traction for the technology content that I share in the general computer geekery, but the Lego content that I do just seems to have I wouldn't say it's a different audience. And I would say it's certainly within the universe of geekery, people who just love the idea of assembling these projects, whether it's a mock or my own creation, or whether it's something that's assembled from a set. There's something fun, reminiscent of childhood for some of us who are definitely not in our childhood. And when we cross over into these worlds of superheroes and at some point in the near future, Lord of the Rings and the J.R.R. Tolkien universe, in Star Wars and beyond, Harry Potter included. It just makes it that much more of a geeky activity. And, I don't think they're mutually exclusive at all. And not to say that you're going to have a predilection for building things if you are a geek, but I think there is certainly going to be a great degree of interest in putting things together and assembling things with your hands, whether you're assembling a computer or you're assembling a set based on instructions, or you're assembling something based on blueprints that you have in your head.
Okay. Recently, when I've been speaking to people, especially the artists, I've found they've come up with some really, what's the delicate way of putting this, weird stuff. They've made some really interesting things. Like one of the artists I spoke to made a version of the house from Hitchcock's film Psycho out of Lego bricks.
Wow, talk about Psycho.
It was just so cool, and what made it slightly creepier actually is the guy who called it, like, it was called HTD-0578 or something like that. Didn't even give it a proper name.
It's kind of esoteric.
But it's a testament to Lego's creativity. So, do you think that its success has been down to you can make what you want out of it, or do you think its success has been down to the sets or the partnerings or the franchises?
I think it's a combination of both, honestly. And you know what, I guess, drew me into Lego, and I uploaded believe it or not, I have a copy of the video recording that my parents made when I was a kid, when I unwrapped on Christmas morning a Lego set back in the day. I mean, we were talking like late 70s. This is before they even had minifigures. I didn't even know what it was. And, the more I, got into it, the more I realized that it was whatever I wanted it to be. I could go off of instructions and assemble something, or I could, create something new altogether. I've always had a sense of uniformity, and so I find myself today, if I don't follow sets, if I have an array of bricks in front of me, I will, and like I'm sitting in front of if you can't hear that, that's the sound of Lego bricks, which is very dangerous to play with as a child, because your parents know when you're playing with Lego and you're not sleeping. They hear the "go to bed," and they get really upset with you. Luckily, I don't live with my parents anymore. I'm very proud of that. So I can play with Lego anytime I want. And I tend to find myself constructing geometric patterns. And, I think that's really what I do in life. And so it's almost when I do something with Lego on my own volition, I'm taking the pieces that are in front of me and I'm making something from them. And as I said, what I tend to do in life in a personal or business capacity tends to be taking a bunch of chaos, a bunch of confusion, a bunch of clutter, and organizing it. And that's what I've done with a lot of my original works. They haven't been fantastic, they haven't been awesome, but they've been very uniform. And I appreciate that uniformity and being able to express that in bricks. And knowing that the bricks that I had as a child could interlock with the bricks that I could buy as an adult, I think is really the beauty of Lego. And when Lego strayed from that for a brief while, creating bricks that did not really click with any other bricks, I think that's when they really lost a lot of their fans. I'm sure the Star Wars franchise helped them a lot. I mean, there are a lot of Star Wars fans out there, including myself, at least of the original trilogy. But beyond that, it's the fact that they are still producing bricks that interclick with one another and allow people to create, based on what's in their imagination, whether they're adults and collectors or engineers, or they're budding adults and would-be engineers or collectors.
Okay, by the way, I've seen that video of you doing an unboxing of your Lego as a kid. You put it on YouTube, didn't you?
Yes, I did. It's a silent film. That's we didn't have fancy things like audio back in my day. Audio? You don't need audio. Who needs audio?
Well, I do, to be honest with you.
Fair enough.
I think it's very important. If I don't have it, then I have nothing at all. So yeah, Lego. You've answered all my questions about Lego, but I need you to do one more little thing for me. At the start of the documentary, we have little bits where we have people saying Lego is, and then a sentence. So I want you to say Lego is, and then you can say whatever you like. So Lego is. Bleh.
Lego.
You can say.
Sure. Lego is what you want it to be.
Excellent. Okay, that's cool. Is there anything that stands out for you about Lego that you think no one else has picked up and you want to mention in there, or?
You know, I and this is probably more on the controversial side. Earlier in the broadcast, I was talking about Lego's new, and I'm talking Lego as the company, their new efforts to better engage the female audience, and you know they've done something that I would say is radically different, but I think is a pretty good approach to addressing that segment, largely because of biological differences. So Lego has a new series of sets that are under the Friends brand, at least here in the United States. And this has ruffled some feathers, even from females who have grown up with Lego, to feel like they're being treated differently within the new Lego universe. And what's nice about the new Friends collections is that every one of the bricks is a Lego brick. They can click with each other. They're just different, either in shape or contour, or possibly in color. Some lighter colors, certainly a few more pink brick sets that are out there, which for some reason has been aligned with the female gender. It doesn't mean that a pink brick is any more masculine or feminine than what it is. It's a brick, whatever the color. The difference that they've really made is with the minifigures specifically. The minifigures in the Friends set are, I would say, dramatically different from the minifigures from the classic Lego sets. They have more features which would better engage the female mind, as was discovered by Lego when they were doing their research in the differences between the way that boys play with toys and the way that girls play with toys. And I've spoken to this a few times, not realizing it myself, and then realizing just how powerful a statement it was. Lego, in their research, discovered that females project themselves onto the toys that they're playing with. So if they had a figurine in front of them, they would see themselves in that figurine when they were playing with the figurine. Now, this was a stark contrast from the way that I've always played with toys, or the way that I've always seen these things. And I've had some amazing discussions, I would say, with my girlfriend about this very topic, and we can't believe each other. We're like, how could you do that? How could you project yourself onto the toy? Whereas she's saying, well, how could you not? How could you not see yourself in the toy? I'm like, it just didn't make any sense to me. So, it's been interesting, but, after realizing the research that Lego had done, specifically on the differences between the male and the female mind, our brains, and how we're biologically wired differently, it gave me much more respect for how they're approaching that segment of the marketplace, while still staying true to their ethos and allowing, Lego to still remain a unisex toy, to be enjoyed by both males and females, boys and girls, adults and children. Bricks are made to be reused in an near infinite amount of patterns, and I think it was a right move to make, because I think what you get from quote unquote playing with Lego is the ability to explore your imagination, your more creative side, to geek out a bit, sure, and really to do something with your hands. And in a day and age when we're used to the latest or greatest app or some kind of software experience, something on the internet, sometimes it's nice to play with something in a physical capacity.
Okay. Well, speaking of apps, do you have the Lego photo app?
Yes, I do.
It's such good fun. I keep taking pictures of my girlfriend. She's not very. She never seems very impressed by it somehow.
Well, I don't know what it boils down to, other than a sense of nostalgia that some of us have, and as I said, I'm more of someone who, I don't like a lot of clutter, so believe it or not, having a lot of Lego sets, I got to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with them. The bricks are likely going to be, reused, but knowing full well that when I have kids of my own, that they'll be able to play with the Lego bricks and build something new entirely, and be that much further ahead than anybody else, and that could potentially unlock other parts of their brain that they may not even realize existed.
Okay, and also, sorry, I can't pass this up, but someone on the YouTube has put betting money with a friend that Chris will not read this comment. So if you read that comment, he loses his bet, by the way.
Oh. I saw the comment.
Does that count if I read it?
No.
Okay. So yeah, thank you very much for agreeing to speak to me.
Sure.
It's been interesting. I believe one of my colleagues said, "What, are you still trying to get blood from a stone?" Just trying to organise the interview.
Talking about Lego. Well, talking about Lego. See, as we were talking, I was starting to put together the Power Miners 8188 set. So I'm never short of the brick.
Okay, well, that's wonderful. Thank you very much for speaking to me. And also, I don't know if you know any different, but there's one group of people that will not talk to me.
Really?
Regardless of, I approach them every way. Well, you're going to be surprised at who won't speak to me. Lego will not speak to me.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all. Lego doesn't even know I exist. Believe it or not, so many people think that they would. But I don't think they exist. They think I exist, or I don't think they know or realize that I exist. I'm just another fan to them, which is fine, and I'm fine with that.
After the last few weeks, they definitely know I exist. They know I exist to the level where I called Denmark yesterday morning and said, "Hey, UK press office aren't getting back to me," and they won't talk to me either now. So
really?
I find.
Are you being completely blacklisted from being able to do anything with Lego ever again?
They just seem. Yeah, the documentary's going to go out and then someone's going to raid my house.
Right.
No, they just they seem to seem really keen. They're like, oh yeah, we'll speak to you. Just send me this is the killer. Just send me an email of what you want.
Right.
And as soon as you do that, that's it. They won't. That's it. It's gone.
Yeah, that's kind of been my experience with the. I've certainly reached out to Lego before as well, but they've been very, very silent, I would say, and they've been very supportive of their community in general. I don't think that has been too much of a challenge for at least those people who are the Lego certified professionals and whatnot. But they treat their community very differently. And that's a kind way of putting it. They're doing things online, like with Kusu, where you could build your own virtual set, and it could potentially turn into a set that other people could buy. But they're not. I don't know if they're fully addressing the community in ways that we've been used to within the world of social media. They're still very much hands off. More hands off than they should be, given how much passion a lot of people have with Lego. I mean, people are just love talking about it. I'll talk about it to just about anybody, adult or kid.
You're talking about it to me, so
right? Especially if you thought I was a Lego expert. I am not an expert. It was only until recently I realized that the studs not on top. Those are also known as snots.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, snots.
You see, now that I would class as expertism because I didn't know that, and I'm researching the project.
Yeah, studs, snots, AFOLs or awfuls. Yeah, it's a whole subculture really. But the beautiful thing is, and what I've seen more than anything from people all around the world, is when someone creates a unique Lego project, it tends to get shared like crazy. It's insane. Like the really cool Lego projects, like the do-it-yourself type of stuff. It just gets so much engagement on the web. It's really it's nice to see, and it's fun to see, and being someone who just likes what I can do with my hands, because I don't get a chance to do it all that frequently, dealing with the world online. It's something, I guess, a passion that I share with millions of people. I mean, the billions of these things are sold every year. Billions. But these bricks, I mean, there's an extreme value in that. And I would say an amazing community around a product. I think Lego treats its community almost like Apple treats its community. And that's not in honor. Apple doesn't treat its community very well, which is a bit depressing.
Tell me about
it. But, for those people who happen to like Lego products. Microsoft treats its community better than Apple does, but that doesn't mean that people stop liking Apple's products. It's just a difference in philosophy. So I don't know if Lego has necessarily gotten the memo about community in general, or ever will get the memo, really. But hopefully they'll engage their community online in better ways than they have in the past. They just haven't done it yet for one reason or another. It's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, well, I think we should do an open letter.
An open letter might help, but then again, if you're talking to a closed-door company, it doesn't matter how much you say, they're not going to listen. And if they're not listening, and the not listening is a part of their culture, you're tilting at windmills at that point to try to get any amount of engagement. Even if they are on Twitter, that doesn't mean that they're listening. Even if they do post a video to YouTube, it doesn't mean they're engaging their community. They're pretty, I would say, dramatic differences between how Lego basically keeps going with its community, and we still love them. Sadly, we despite the how we feel we're being treated, we still love the experiences that they can bring to us that really few other companies have or can do. And there are other companies out there who are doing things that are similar, but it's just not the same. I don't know.
Yeah, in the UK we have character building, and they do sets that are based on army stuff and Doctor Who, the BBC franchise, and right. They do this stuff like that because obviously Lego.
I've seen those. Yep.
Never going to make any war stuff ever.
Yeah, and that's a part of their policy. But that's where you have some customs that are being done, and I would say that the custom community is pretty it's a pretty broad community that are taking and doing custom minifigs or sets, and it's the value of having access to the array of bricks that we do, and they're high quality bricks. It's a high quality plastic. It's knowing that you can build what you want to build, how you want to build it. If that makes any sense.
That doesn't make sense. That Lego to me just seems like like something that it's so much more than a toy.
It is.
Because when I was chatting to my girlfriend about it, and I said I've decided to do this documentary on Lego, and she goes, "Sorry, what?" Because I've done some pretty heavyweight stuff in the past. That looked at things like.
Oh, come on, dude! Have you read the statistics about Lego? It moves huge numbers, and I don't just mean dollars. There are so many Lego sets floating around. It's like the closest thing to an international universal toy, and it's more than just a toy. You have a set of bricks that you can pose in a zillion different configurations, and people do.
Yeah.
It's more than just it's more than just a child's toy. It really is.
Apparently, there are about 250-ish Lego bricks to every person at the minute. That's how many there are.
I believe it. Those are amazing numbers. Any company would want something like that.
But it's weird to think that about 10 years ago, they were on at the 11th hour.
Right. Well, it's because they screwed up. They didn't realize what they had. They had a strong brand. And they were not developing what they needed to develop, what kids might want, and what made Lego so valuable was being able to take one brick and position it within another set of bricks. And they went down a completely different path, developing bricks that just could not click with other bricks. I mean, they were more like traditional toys, and that was boring. That's what made Lego almost die.
Yeah, I mean I think that's been the case with a lot of toys, especially the ones that that are very popular in the UK. Like I don't know if you guys heard of Meccano and stuff like that. They've started doing things that are unusual in the way that they make sets that tell you exactly how to put it together. You put piece 1 with piece 2,
right,
and connect it using piece A and piece B, and I think it ruins the experience slightly.
When you this is I mean, much like with any other company, if you do not engage your core audience, you'll lose them. And that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your audience. If you're doing something that they like, do more of it. That's I think for content production, that's probably been the biggest challenge. There's some people who don't like when I talk about Lego, but there are a lot of people who do. So it's like two different communities, and they bisect at a certain point. But it's finding value in knowing that I share this kind of interest with other geeks, and can other adults or even children, I guess, build these experiences that haven't been seen before. And Lego gives me those building blocks. It's like a set of power tools. And without those, that Lego would have lost its core competency and really lost its way.
Yeah. Well, in the UK, they've had a further boost now in the UK, because there was a TV series done a couple of years ago now called James May's Toy Stories, and he is a Top Gear presenter. Any of you are familiar with that, but he made the entire house from Lego.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean it's
actually no, I did hear about that. I did.
Mm.
Yeah, I did. No, it's always it's fun.
Yeah, I think the Lego toilet though was probably the.
It might be a little too far.
Yeah, the pinnacle.
I don't know about that. I don't know about a Lego toilet.
But yeah, I can't imagine the bed being too comfy either. I mean, I've trodden a Lego brick before, let alone having like slippers.
Right.
Lego bricks.
Oh, ouch! No, unless they were on the outside, that would be a different story altogether. There are Lego shoes, Lego jewelry. You can do Lego with anything, just about.
Yeah.